Yeah, that's an interesting question. So first of all, I didn't dream of becoming an investment banker. I thought I could make the most money being an investment banker. But then I met a guy who I ended up becoming a partner with.
Randall.
Yeah. And he had just set up his private equity fund, PostScriptum. And he thought, okay, well, I can make just as much money in private equity as in investment banking, but this is focusing on sustainability, so I'm going to be saving the planet while making money. So that's even better. So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I can't say that I had a very strong, save the planet conviction, right? I just wanted to be successful.
How did you two meet? I mean, he's
I went
a successful individual, right?
Yeah, no, Mark's a very interesting guy. So we met because he was on the board of the college that I went to in the US. It's one of the best colleges in the US and in the world, really. And he was on the board. That's how we met. He was just setting up. He had just actually retired and unretired, and PostScriptum was supposed to be his, PS on his professional life.
I see.
But yeah, so he right place at the right time, I guess.
And how did you think you made an impression on him?
Well, I was persistent, so he turned me down a few times. I wanted to get an internship with him, and he said, no, sorry. Because, first of all, he was a very senior guy, right? So he was the youngest partner in the history of Morgan Stanley.
Wow.
At 25, and then when I met him, he had just exited the company that he founded that was doing 100 billion of revenue a year, right? So if you work in an investment bank, right, you don't get to work with people at that level from the beginning, right? And he was just setting up PostScriptum, right? So he had him and another partner and support staff, So there was no middle layer, and I thought that would be a fantastic opportunity for me to grow quickly. So I was very persistent, and he gave me an internship. I did an internship for one summer. He was very skeptical about it, but he said, okay, you can, do busy work for one summer, right?
Okay.
I slept on a friend's couch for the summer, and then I guess I did something right because he offered me a job, and I actually ended up working my last year of university. I was working half-time for PostScriptum already.
Before you started your internship, did you have any idea of what your job is going to be about? Or?
No idea. I didn't even know who the guy was, actually. And he said, I can, if you want to talk about, career and stuff like that. We can always have it. He was living in London, right? And I was in London at the time. So he offered to have drinks or whatever. So I got in touch with his assistant, and that was probably in November. And she said, yeah, sure. How are you at 5 o'clock on, March 5th? And I said, what are you talking? That's in like 3 months. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, that's Mark's a busy guy. So then I looked him up and I said, okay, well, this is actually more interesting than I expected.
Well, and looking at from outside, I have the impression that his mentorship played a big role in your career development.
For sure, yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about your relationship to him and how did it shape your mindset also in the professional, but also in the personal aspect?
Well, I guess the biggest thing was allowing you, or kind of pushing you to think big, right? Because if you're already at that level, and if you've already done $100 billion company, you can't think about your next thing being small, right? So having that mentality, if you're doing something, it might as well be large scale, and then that's unusual to have early on, right? So
especially for someone who is coming from our geography.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a really important thing. And also, I guess in a way, once you've made your money, once you've become successful and you retired and then unretired, right? You get to do business on your own terms, right? You get to do the right thing. You get to choose who you do it with, and you get to choose your mission. And that's a luxury that I've sort of benefited from early on. And it's a good feeling to be able to do something that I find meaningful and positive for the world.